Hello, Christmas buddies. Welcome to week 5 of our Christmas drawing camp. 5 is my favorite number. How is everyone doing? Let me know in the chat. Um, in case someone is coming across this workshop, someone is new, you can join us. There's one more workshop. And they're free and you can read all about them. If you go to that URL, there's also a link in the description. And there are other workshops too that come with a Santa Pass. So you're invited to join our creative adventure, as I call it. I'm wearing this because today we're going to be drawing a cardinal. So be matching colors. Another thing that I want to say is there's 15 days left before Christmas, or 15 days until Christmas. We're so close. Anyway, apart from drawing this awesome bird, do you get cardinals where you live? I didn't used to know a lot about cardinals until I moved to the US. Then I found out a few things. I think the males are the red ones, and then the females are a bit browner, or gray. I don't know. Apparently, I don't know enough about them, but I love them. They're one of my favorite birds. So we're going to be drawing a cardinal. Remember that all these things that we've been making are kind of like cookies, kind of like decorating cookies. And today I also want to talk a little bit about the prompts. Started with the prompts. Let me actually bring them up because I never forget. I never. Oh no, where do I have them? I never remember them well. Anyway, we're gonna find them at some point. So yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit about the prompts. Yesterday was the odd stocking. I know that. Then today was Rudolph, where's your nose? Let me see. We have tomorrow Snow Globe Wonderland, and I'm doing this for a reason. I'm gonna explain it to you like in a moment. Then the fourth one is Diker Heights Treasures. I don't know why I'm going like this. The fourth one, Diker Heights Treasures. Then Silent Santa Night Collection, North Pole Bound, Snow-Kissed Town, Chimney Jam, Sugar Cookies by the Fire, A Gingerbread Tale, and then the open prompt, that in my case is Summer Christmas. As you know, I'm spending the holidays in Argentina, so that's why it's Summer Christmas, and it brings a lot of other things into the picture, right? Like, I want to say these things while we start with our illustration for today, because I want to be talking a little bit about how you can help yourself kind of brainstorm for these, for all the prompts, and in general when you're doing some sort of creative adventure, as I call it, or you're starting some project. You have to help yourself, right? Like, inspiration doesn't come from like, doesn't just like appear out of nowhere. One has to help oneself to get into the mindset, into the right place, and where the ideas just flow. So what I do a lot of the time, if I'm having like a sort of, you don't have to be like stuck, but if you just started with something, maybe you're not immersed enough yet, and so the ideas are not going to flow as easily as they will when you do immerse yourself. What I do is I do what I just did. I read them all. Um, and then maybe I stop in each of them and I ask myself some questions. Or if I don't know what questions to ask, I just read them again. And I kind of like try to visualize something. Then I let it be. And then the following day, a lot of ideas come to mind. So we're going to be talking a little bit about this throughout the workshop, and how we can help ourselves. I have a couple more tips. How we can help ourselves come up with ideas and visualize all of these things. Anyway, so first let's make this cool or cute little cardinal. We have our cookie template as usual. We also have a brush stamp, but if you are brave enough, you can try to draw the cardinal with me, alongside with me. If you do need the brush stamp, it's there. We're going to be using our palette. And if you want to use the cardinal, then you would just like, let's create a new layer on top. You would just add it. And I think I actually stamped it before there. Okay. You would just add it after we make a couple of little trees. Okay. So I may make this slightly bigger. So I'm going to create a layer on top, and with my favorite brush, actually bring it all the way to the bottom, because we do want to make the actual cookie behind this. So as usual, we're going to use this color, and remember that we're using this one for the background, and we're gonna just draw it. Cardinals also have like a lot of meaning, right? Like they're like a symbol or like a sort of sign. I have a couple of those for like things that I think kind of like symbolize, a cool sign. For example, like butterflies or hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds. Like little animals or insects that remind you of your loved ones that are not here anymore. Like, for example, a ladybug for me reminds me of my great grandma. I don't know why. Now that I think about it, I think it's because we would always, I mean, maybe this is like, you feel like this is gross, but to me it was like the most wholesome thing ever. We would always like, it would land on our finger or something, and then we would let it like walk all around. Because ladybugs are those sort of bugs that are not gross, in my opinion. And they're very different in Buenos Aires. They're not as round, I guess. I guess I could show you a picture in the community space. Sorry for like spinning this so much. Not necessary. Anyway, I want it to be like that. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to we're going to go to this layer, and it's already like the alpha log is already activated. As we always say, it has to be like that so that we can change that color, because I gave this template to you in black. We want to make it green. And then we're going to deactivate the alpha log and bring in the colors so that it's filled with that. In this case, the little dots are going to be the same color as the cookie, because we're going to, in a little bit, we're going to add snow behind all of this. And so otherwise they're not going to be seen. So I'm just going to, we could also do this at the very end, but I'm going to add it now. Yeah. Cardinals. What a beautiful bird. One of the things that I wanted to tell you, like for instance, with this illustration, because I always tell you that you can come and draw along or use these as the starting point for your own illustrations that are going to be more related to the prompts. Because I think that, I mean, maybe in the Halloween challenge, I gave you a few more things to help, like my thumbnails and a lot of templates. And now I'm kind of like letting your hand like go a little bit. Kind of like letting you explore more your own creativity. And so I'm giving you fewer tools. I'm still giving you some, but I want you to be brave and explore more. So for this one, let's see what we could potentially link it to, because let's see, Snow Globe Wonderland is always like, that one can be a lot of things. Diker Heights Treasures can also be linked to this one. Ugly Sweater Collection too, like the little cardinal could be wearing an ugly sweater, or the cardinal be part of the ugly sweater collection, with other things, in the sweater, on the sweater. Snow Kiss Town, that one is also like, I think that one would fit. Sugar cookies, I mean, this could be for any of the ones that we've been doing. Anyway, let's continue. So we're gonna go to the royal icing layer, and with white I'm going to draw kind of like actually we're gonna do this instead. We're going to create a layer on top and make it a clip-in mask, so that now we have 2 layers, and if we need to change any colors or anything, we're not that limited. This illustration is going to be pretty simple anyway, but it's always nice. Given that it's simple and we'll have a lot of layers available, it's always nice to have a bit more flexibility. So we have the snow. Let's make a couple of cool trees with this color. So we're gonna make one, let's see, over here. So maybe like you see like this second little curve, but remember to also make it a clip-in mask. This is going to be contained within the same first kind of like reference layer for the mask. So I'm going to make it a sort of thin tree. I have started to recognize the way that cardinals sing. It's like a very distinctive little. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna be able to say the name for this. Twerp? I don't know. Tweet? I don't know. Anyway, my assistant elf can say it in the chat. I think I accidentally did something over there. Okay, we're gonna make a branch over here. Speaking of birds, there is one bird that is, from, it's like you, well, I'm not going to say you can only find it in Buenos Aires, but I know that it's very common there, that sings a lot starting November. And I had never noticed that bird. And like, I had noticed the bird, but like, to me, at times it was like very annoying. Like, I remember thinking about it because it was the song was like so noise noisy, like so it's like a very insistent bird, so to speak. We have a couple of branches. We're gonna make a couple of like thinner ones over here. And for the longest time, it was either something that I didn't care about or something that bothered me. And once I moved away from my home country, um, when I started like visiting, uh, and I heard the bird say for the first time, I linked it to like this place of like absolute nostalgia that was like insane. Like now every time that I hear that bird, I feel like extremely uh, I don't want to say well, maybe homesick is the right word. But it has become like another symbol for me of home. And so I now every time that I go home, I love it. I love hearing that bird. I look forward to it. I don't care if it's not gonna be the middle of the night. But actually, yes, because sometimes like at 4 a.m. they start singing. I remember very distinctly because when I was in university, we're gonna grab this color for the leaves. When I was in university, it was one of the I would stay up really late because these graphic design projects would take all of your time. And I remember that when I started hearing the birds, that was bad news. It was like, oh no, the night is starting to end. I don't have any more time. So I've always been a night owl. Maybe university made me a night owl. Um, but I think I always was, like, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to survive that. Okay, let's create a couple more leaves over here on this side. And we need a few berries. We're going to leave the cardinal for the very end of the illustration. I think that we're going to be able to, as usual, add a little bit of a bonus animation. But I also want to show you one of my techniques for brainstorming. Maybe we'll mix that in a little moment. Let's make another tree over here. So let me see. We can use the same layer for this. I think I use the same layer for everything now that I'm thinking. We're gonna put it again, like you see, like this was the second from the right. Let's put it on this within the second from the left. This is going to be slightly thinner. We have seen this before, but just in case, like in order to get a straight line, like a vertical line, you have to draw it, hold it, and then also tap your screen. For trees, obviously, it doesn't have to be that exact, but we're taking advantage of some things to explain some Procreate little features. A lot of the trees around here are very, very crooked, so that wouldn't be, especially if they are this thin, that wouldn't be very accurate. But anyway, We're gonna make a branch over there. We're gonna make another one where the cardinal is going to be. I want the cardinal to be kind of like in the center. So I need the branch to be kind of like that, maybe. Make sure we can move some things, but let's see. And then we are going to add a few little branches. Maybe another one over here. I'm not going to add too much on top of it because the cardinal will be there, and so it's kind of like it's gonna be covered by it. So, and then maybe a couple of branches on this side too. All right. After this, we're going to talk about the brainstorming methods. It's not really like it's an idea. This came to me because it's one of the ways that I would, speaking of university, that we would kind of like use it as an excuse to create a project. For example, I'm going to show you so that we can talk about it. Or we can continue working on the leaves for a moment. My indecisiveness is like very funny. Let's continue working on the leaves. I don't think it's like the right time to show you this project, but there was one that I made for the final year of university where this would be more appropriate for Halloween. So maybe next year. But there was by the way, we're going to use this darker green for the leaves up here because otherwise we're not going to be able to see them. So it was a project that started with, we were assigned a song, and it was like either a song or a poem. I think it was a song. And it was called The Wolf. And random things. It randomly like was assigned to me. That's one of the things that I didn't like about a lot of university projects. Sometimes you weren't assigned the one that you liked, and so you had to just work with it. But then obviously that teaches you how to basically bring whatever you're assigned as, maybe, you know, a professional later on, bring into your own world of inspiration and make it something that you actually like and where you can actually get inspired. This one actually I did like. So I happened to I don't remember if I started liking it, but sorry, I'm fixing a few things because I see some imperfections. I see some like texture here. So since I'm talking, and so I did like it, or maybe they gave it to me and I linked it to something that I thought would work for it. And it was like a song about the wolf. Was kind of like a metaphor for a very dark moment in someone's life. And I thought that I could develop a whole story. This was, by the way, this was for an illustration class. So that's why I'm bringing it up. It wasn't like it was relevant. We're going to add a few berries over here. And yeah, so my point was that the song kind of like from it, we got this huge, I mean, we had to make our own our own visual universe and story, because the song can give you a few ideas, a few mental images, but the story comes from you. And that's one of the things that I wanted to teach you today, or talk about today. um, as I was saying in the beginning, one has to help oneself with uh, the way that you get inspired. You can take some things, like you can immerse yourself. I know that a few of you already do it. Some of these, by the way, can also be slightly lighter, but I didn't want to make them too light because the contrast with that color is it's gonna vibrate. It's not gonna. Anyway, I don't know why I thought of making it. They look a bit darker to me, but they're fine. So, yeah, I want to show you what I'm talking about before we go to move on to making the cardinal. So, you have to help yourself, right? This always happens. Okay. Let's see. Let me remove this for a moment. I want to be able to like I thought we were past this. Let me see. There we go. Okay. Finally. Okay, so of course, for Christmas related stuff, we have a lot of songs, a lot of carols, and a lot of Christmas songs. We have already talked about your favorite ones, but if you want to put them in the chat, if you have any other favorites, I love them all. That's another thing that's more like a thing here in the US and not so much in Argentina. So that's another acquired thing. I always say this and I want to repeat it because sometimes, like, maybe with all of my rambling, some things kind of get lost. So it's helpful to repeat it. When you like speak two languages, at least, for a lot of you, obviously carols are going to be the common thing for you in your language. But if you speak another language, sometimes it's helpful to translate it, how you would say it, how you would say each thing in your second language, or if your native language is different from English, then do that. Translate these things into your own language and think of how you would say them, because what I'm trying to say here is that the meaning behind all of this, sometimes, like, we're going to read a few of these things. I picked a few songs that I really like, and I thought that I would just like extract parts that had visual, like you could visualize. So, for example, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Probably one of the longest titles for songs. Can we say that? I know there's another one that's longer or just as long that's coming up. So there will be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing. Hearts will be glowing, right? Like, that's visual. When loved ones are near. So if you think about these things, you help yourself, because, like, you're getting inspired by the lyrics. You don't need you're not stealing something, or you're not copying the lyrics. You're just getting inspired by these images that are coming from what you read and whatever you link it to. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you translate it to your own language, then you're going to get even more meaning out of them, and then you're going to link it to experiences. Then I have a few more things for that song. So there'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting. I wish I could sing, but I'm not. I'm not going to. And caroling out in the snow. You see, like, all of this is very visual. Like a lot of these carols are super visual, and you can think of more on your own. Obviously, like, if you know of any that you can think of right now, let me know in the chat so that we can all go and listen to them, and also like think, right? Because sometimes, like, when things are so familiar to you, you don't stop to think of, you don't stop to analyze them. They just, like, like when you sing something by heart, you're not thinking about what you're saying, but stopping for a moment and thinking, wait, this one is super visual. I'm gonna like read it, and I'm gonna read the prompt, and I'm gonna read again this, and I'm gonna see what comes out of it. I brought this one specifically because it says there'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. I think that the scary ghost stories part was funny because of the Halloween challenge, but tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago also brings like this whole universe of meaning that, to me, I don't know, I'm going to, like, the Middle Ages or something. I don't know why. I'm thinking of like something medieval for whatever reason, but it could be. I mean, you could go to different places of Christmas, right? Like, it can be wintry, or it can be like related to specific type. It can be like something that I didn't bring this into the question, but it could be something like the Grinch. So it's like a different type of Christmas. It's someone that doesn't like Christmas. It can be the Nutcracker. There are many things from the Christmas universe that one could like pick for their theme or their whole story for the prompts. Or you can experiment. I always say this, right? Like, you don't have to have one thing. If you're experimenting with your style, you can have different, you can just experiment and try different ideas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I was trying to figure out if this one was longer than the other one. I think so. Or it may be just as long. Everywhere you go, take a look at the 5 and 10. I had to look this up because I had no idea what the 5 and 10 was. It's kind of like the dollar store, right? So that is something that maybe for some of you brings a lot of memories from childhood, or something that someone else told you, or some movies that you watched. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. I mean, very visual. Toys in every store. But the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Another one, another visual, another illustration, right? A front door with a holly and then some stuff all around. This is still, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Okay. Dolls I'll talk and we'll go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. So I'm thinking of a couple of girls with dolls. They're going for a walk, and maybe one of the dolls can be the Nutcracker. I mean, I'm saying obvious things, but my point is this will mean something for me, and it will mean something like very different for you. And this is like a bit of a way to making the prompt and making the whole creative process linked to it a lot richer. That's why it's important to immerse yourself in the whole thing when you're creating, playing carols in the background. We talked about this, like Gina in one of the first workshops was saying all these things, because it is like you help yourself get into the mood of the creative mood. I think that's really important. Um, a lot of things are gonna come out from it way better than if you just like say, okay, I'm going to create now. Let's see the prompt. Okay, the odd stocking, and then just like create immediately. Like you have to. It takes a little bit of time, right? We know we're not machines. I love this part. I don't love this part, but these things that you never pay attention to. It says, and mom and dad can hardly wait for school to start again. Okay, thanks, mom and dad. Then there's a tree in the Grand Hotel. I read that and I imagine like a whole thing. One in the park as well. It's a sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. Very visual. Um, anyway, we're gonna go back to, because I have like a few more, but I want to go back to the Cardinal for a moment. Otherwise, we're not gonna get to the animation part. Um, oh no, you're gonna have to put up with me doing all of this again. Okay, so we have the brush, but I said we're gonna be brave. So let's create a new layer on top. Let's think about this. A cardinal is the reason, by the way, why I came up with that is because in one of the songs that I was going to show you, it says, I believe this is like Winter Wonderland. Yes, it says the bluebird. Oh man, we're gonna do this. let me see. Oh no, I'm giving up things. No, here. I'm revealing things. Gone away is the bluebird. Here to stay is a new bird. That's what I wanted to show you. We're gonna go back to it. No worries. Um, so that's why when I read that, you see, I also get inspired by these things. When I was reading the carol, yeah, it is a carol, right? Is every Christmas song a carol? Let me know in the chat. Okay. The new bird is the cardinal, I believe. Okay. So for this, we're going to create a little blob like that. No worries. We're going to shape it. It's just that this is easier for me to like explain how I would make it. We could make it slightly darker. Okay. Kind of like the berries. Then we're going to make the head. So this is easy. And then the tail or the feathers. Okay. This is like not super noticeable against that brown. So we either make the tree, we have to make this one lighter because the trees are, you see, that's the problem. If you make things in the same layer, then it's hard to change colors. I think that one is fine. It's kind of like it's matching me, as I said before. Okay, we have the feather there. Let's make a little bit of something here, kind of like the branches. That's also another thing to keep in mind when you're creating something, when you're drawing something, these things matching the branches that are like in a different element of the illustration, kind of like make it look like a cohesive style. So whenever you have a chance, it's something that you can add. Okay, and now that we have like the main parts, let's soften the whole thing. I want to make this a bit flatter, this part. I want to make this, I want to bridge that. Same here. So now it's looking a bit more like a cardinal. We have to add, is that a crest? Oh man. Sometimes like one realizes that one uses Google too much to think of words. Um yeah. Google is going extinct soon, so there's that. I'm gonna go back to dictionaries. Um, okay. So, what is she saying? Anyway, I'm just shaping the bird. I think that's fine. We can make it a bit better fed. Okay. So there we have it. And now we can add the beak. It's kind of like cardinals have like a kind of like a strange shape. It's not like, it's a bit different than other birds. Okay, now that we have the main shape for the bird, what we're going to do is add on top, let's see, with maybe this color. No, this is the same brown. We need something slightly darker. I don't know. Maybe his little legs are black. I would have to see a reference image for that, but we're gonna make them brown. And this is like, it doesn't have to be like, it's a very small part of the illustration, so I'm not gonna care too much about the details. And then this other one here, let's think about it, like we're gonna keep it like that. Okay. And now we're gonna make the beak. The beak is, let's see if we do have something like, I think this color. And we are going to go to the layer with a cardinal and make it activate the alpha lock. But don't worry about it not being visible because we are going to add black. So let's see, I'm gonna make the eye over here, and this is like a bit more involved because everything is part of the same, you know, like how cardinals have like a black kind of pattern in their face. So I'm gonna make the eye first, and I'm going to add the typical sparkle. Maybe I'm gonna do something like this because I do need for it to be very noticeable. This is going to be something that happens to me with cats. Okay, we have the eye, and then we're gonna make something like this with a bit of patience. We're gonna try to go all the way there, and we're gonna do something like this. This part, I mean, even if we use the brush stamp, this part we need to do on our own. So it's not that easy to draw a cardinal, but it can be our cardinal. That's another thing to keep in mind when you're drawing things. Some animals are not going to look exactly like, you know, or realistically like the animals They can be as long as like this. This looks more like a parrot. Maybe we need the eye to be slightly bigger. It's just that when I'm not working with reference images, this is what happens. Like, you make sure that, it has some features so that it looks like the animal that you're going for, but it can be your own version of the animal. I think that the problem here is that, let me fix something. I think I would like for the beak to be a bit like more like that. And it's possible that the eye is too far away. So I am going to fix a couple of things. Oh, poor guy. Okay, I think that's a bit better. So I am going to fill in this part. I do want to have a couple of minutes for the animation. Okay. You see, I thought that this was like a simple illustration, but in the end, the bird, good thing we left it for the end. The cardinal became the hard thing. Okay. We're going to make an idea, as I always say, an idea. Because I don't like, in a lot of my illustrations, I don't like adding outlines. So I just add inner lines for, give an idea for the feathers. Okay. So there we have him. We can actually make this part. Let's not forget the alpha lock. We can make it a bit longer like that. Oh, and you know what it's missing? A little eyebrow. Let's not forget that I did something weird with the layers there. A little eyebrow. That adds a little bit of a cute twist. A cute feature. And you can make the sparkles bigger too. Let me try that. Well, you can play around with it. Okay, there we go. We have our cardinal. Okay, so it's looking a bit pale. Poor guy. It lost its color in the snow. So what I wanted to do for this one, we have a little bit of time. We can do something with the wings. But before we do that, let me go back to this. So we were here. Yes. Okay. And then we have, but going back to it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We have soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. Sometimes I open my eyes too much when I'm trying to focus on reading something, and then I see myself, and it's like, what are you doing? Then Jingle Bell Rock is one that brings a lot of childhood memories for me, because I remember that my grandparents had recorded a video of all of us in this mall that is like very well known for decorating for Christmas, like going all out in Buenos Aires. And we would always, it was a tradition to go there every December and November. And I remember for this like specific home video, they had put Jingle Bell Rock in the background. So dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square in the frosty air. That is super visual, and I wanted to ask you, what do you think Jingle Bell Square is? Where do you think it is? um, I want to know in the chat, and because I have something, I have something coming up. Where is Jingle Bell Square? So I actually looked it up, and this what came up. Can confirm it is where you can find frosty air. Important. Um, very, very important to know. At the intersection of Silent Night Street and Holy Night Lane, next to the Silver Bells Diner. I love that. Past the 7 levels of the candy cane forest, through the sea of swirly twirly gumdrops, and then go through the Lincoln Tunnel. I thought was the funniest thing. So you see more images, more mental images that you can think of when you see everything that comes from like a little thing contained in the lyrics of a carol. I found this on Reddit, and I thought that it made me laugh, and it made me like feel also like it's kind of like our creative our brainstorming little chats and little things that happen in the community space. So I wanted to bring it up. Giddy up, jingle horse. Pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. Jingle around the clock. That can also be taken literally. Jingle around the clock. I want to make a horse jingling around the clock. Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? Yeah, here are a couple of more. A beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. This one is for the. Is it tomorrow's prompt? Snow globe wonderland. Yeah. And then gone away. Oh, we already saw this because of the Cardinal. He sings a love song as we go along. Anyway, let's go back to the. I'm sure I'm gonna have more time to show you these things for another workshop. We're going to make the animation. He's singing. So we can have a bit of snow. We could make something funny, but we don't have a lot of time left. So we can make snow falling. That one is easy. And we can make him singing. So if you remember, I'm gonna get rid of these dots. I don't need them. We need to have everything in one group. You may remember by now. But if you never watch this Christmas drawing camp, we're gonna do it. So you saw that as I was combining things, a lot of stuff came out of the masks, but it's back. It's back in place. Okay, so we're gonna turn on the animation assist, and we have to have everything, including this, in the same layer so that it's one frame for animation. We're gonna duplicate that, and for this one, we can add the snow. So in a new layer inside the second group, we can add a couple of little snowflakes. It's heavy snow apparently. Okay, we're gonna duplicate again, and we're gonna add more. Maybe it can start accumulating. We can use the tree for this too, because otherwise we're not going to be able to see the snow, because white on white is not going to be noticeable. So it doesn't have to be like too much. It's just like a few added things so that it looks like something is moving. And also, like, let's think of it falling. So maybe like for this area, we can make the white slightly darker with gray, so that it also gives you an idea of falling snow. Let's see if it's working, because now I kind of like got lost with, I don't want some things to stay in the same place. Okay, that's we have to go to settings and make the frames per second like way like go way down. Oh, right. The first one needs, okay, so if the first group needs to have something, because otherwise it's going to look weird. So it's going to have some little, maybe like in the very top, because where we wanted to start there. Okay, let's play it. Kind of looks like weird. Oh, I know why. Because it has to like keep falling, right? Like it's because it's a loop. Let me see. What if we do ping pong? Does that look better? Yeah, it's like it keeps falling. It could be like a bit. Let's see. We can go to the first group. Maybe it doesn't have to be all the way up there. Maybe it could just be like in different places. Okay. I think that's a bit better. It looks like it looks more like fairy lights than snow. But I think that if you play around with some of the groups, it's gonna help. And then we wanted him to be singing, so we're going to very quickly do something like this to make it simple. We want to go to the second group, and do something like this so that it looks like he's opening his mouth. Then we're gonna go to the third group, let it like leave it like that, and then the fourth group, and open his mouth a bit more, and maybe do something like this so that his eye looks like it's a bit closed, to add like, I don't know, a bit of character. And then because he's singing, I'm gonna add like a little musical note. Musical note. I don't know what I'm saying. Whatever that is. I'm gonna grab the selection tool. Okay. Apparently my sweater wants to get, involved in this. Cut and paste it, because I actually wanted to, I want to duplicate it, bring it out. You're gonna have to like follow me later on with a replay, but I need to bring this into the other groups and move it slightly so that it looks like something is happening. Oh no, what did I do? Let's see what's happening. Yeah, that kind of looks like he's singing. He could have like a couple more notes. I mean, otherwise it's like a bit not too much going on. Um I don't know enough about music, so I may just like be making things up here. Um I used to take guitar lessons. That was a very long time ago. So cut and paste again. I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to duplicate it and bring it to the other group. And I have to move it slightly. Where did it go? Here. Okay, there we go. So play. There we have him. He's singing and it's snowing and he's happy. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you have your own little cardinal or the bluebird. Another animation, if we had more time, could have been the bluebird going away and the cardinal flying in into the picture. I hope you also learned a few more methods to brainstorm, or you remembered some things, because sometimes like we have so many tools that we forget some of them. So maybe you remembered some things that you wanted to use, or that they're coming in handy for this creative adventure. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.